All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon at your houses. Mr. Brother Quanah Watts from the Arizona Great Millstone Camp coming back at you with a lunchtime lesson through the Spirit and power. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord will. It is edifying, Lord will. It is straight to the point. You know, and I was watching this video, right, that the elder Manata Zakba, you know, the elder out there in South Carolina, right, had, you know, basically reposted, right, as you see, GMS South Carolina 08, that's the elder Manata Zakba. Go and subscribe and be edified. But again, it says right here, vision of a death angel among Israelites, GMS Goodly Heritage, which is the brother that you see right here on the screen. That is his YouTube channel, GMS, you know, Goodly Heritage, right? He's the one that, you know, ultimately, you know, had this vision, you know, and I'm not going to play it, right? I would encourage y'all to go and, you know, subscribe to both pages, right? And be edified, right? As well as watch this video. This is a very heavy video, you know, especially concerning the time period that we're in. You know, we're in the time of the Passover, right? The Passover is ultimately tomorrow, which is, you know, March 13th at evening, all the way to March the 20th at evening as well. You know, so again, it's very heavy that this brother had this vision, and basically what the vision was is, you know, him, you know, as well as many others, many others, you know, were in a big ass, you know, venue, as the brother was calling it, right? A venue, right? And you had GMS, you know, all the different camps, ICPK, IUIC, so on and so forth, right? Everyone knew that they were Israelites, right? Had fringes, different garments, so on and so forth, right? And the brother said that there was a death angel that came through, you know, and was just wiping people out, man. Massacre, straight up massacre, you know, except, right, there were men, right, and particularly, you know, men of Great Millstone and possibly men that, you know, might be affiliates that have the same doctrine, right? When that death angel came up to him, right, his sword would stop, you know, as if those men had a protection around them, and then just skip over them and go kill the rest, right? But the point being that a lot of these men, right, they knew that they're Israelites, man. All of them, every single last one, as the brother was saying in his vision, you know, every last one of them knew that they were Israelites, man, you know, which is, that's heavy as fuck, right? That's a heavy vision, right, that this brother was given, man. Again, especially the times that we're coming into and everything that we see that's going on as of right now, we're coming into the end of this world, man, right? Which means Jacob's trouble, right, is about to happen. World War III is about to take place. And what? The deliverance, man, right? And we understand, right, according to the scriptures, right, that there's going to be a lot of death, right? There's going to be a lot of death that's going to take place here soon, man. You know, let me grab this scripture. I only got a few scriptures, man. Like I said, it's a lunchtime lesson, man. And, you know, I got about 10 minutes left. But I'll grab this in 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, which is ultimately those that know that they are Israelites, man. Those that know, you know, this truth, man, right? About us being Israelites, us being the chosen, right? The small hats, they're imposters, right? And so on and so forth, man. You know, those that know that they're Israelites, judgment is going to begin at the house of the Most High, man. Why? Because the law, statutes, commandments were given to us, right? They were given to us. They weren't given it to no other nation, right? As you read them, what is that? Psalms, you know, what, 140, you know, what is that? Psalms 147, verses 19 and 20, right? He gave his laws and his statutes unto Jacob, you know, his commandments unto Israel, roughly paraphrasing, man. Right? Amos, the 3rd chapter, he you know, he has not dealt so with any other nation, man, you know. But, yeah, man. Again, in the vision, you had the death angel come through and start wiping them out, man, tearing them up, right? And it's really because these dudes are not right, man. You know, they're not right, right? They're ultimately got their foot in the world, and they're trying to have their foot in this truth at the same time, which is, you know, that's not possible, man. You know, You're either going to serve the Lord or you're going to serve this world. You know, you can't walk on two paths. You can only walk on one, right? But it says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel? We understand, right, as we read in the scriptures, what the end of those that obey not the gospel is going to be. It's going to be destruction, man. You know, as we read, matter of fact, just to, you know, add to that as well, for 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 24, it says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. So there you go. There's the answer, right? Those that are ultimately being wicked, those that are being evil, that want to continue to follow after the ways of the heathen, you know, are going to be destroyed, man. And this is what this brother's vision was ultimately going into, you know. And it's beautiful, right, how that brother was saying, man, that, you know, you had men, right, that were ultimately being, you know, really passed over by that death angel, man, right? Which is, again, we're in the time of the Passover, you know, to where, again, just as in ancient Egypt, right, the Lord ultimately passed over, right, that death angel, right, which we know was Yahushua, which you could read in, you know, Wisdom of Solomon, the 18th chapter, you know, as well as you can read, you know, in the book of Exodus, right, about the Passover and whatnot, right? We know that that was Yahushua, man. You know, that was there, right? Matter of fact, let's see if we can find that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 18th chapter. Just to expound on that. Right here, this is Wisdom of Solomon 18 verse 14. It says, for while all things were in quiet silence, and that night was in the midst of her swift course, thine almighty word, right, which we know Yahushua is the word made flesh, right, it says, thy almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war. And that brother said, you know, that death angel was going through like a warrior, man. You know, so it's beautiful how that brother put it, man, which just shows you, hey, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is dealing with bros, man. It's dealing with great millstone, man. You know, it says, as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction, and brought thine unfeigned commandments as a sharp sword, right? A sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. That's right, man. Right, so Yahushua was coming down there and wiping them out, man. You know, and again, Ecclesiastes 1:9, there's no new thing under the sun. So just as, you know, Yahushua was doing that back then, and Yahushua gonna do it again, right? Yahushua is gonna do it again, man. You know, and put a lot of you niggas to death because y'all wicked, y'all evil, man. You know, Lord ain't fucking playing with nobody, man. You know. The Lord ain't playing with nobody. And this is why you got to examine yourself, man. You know, this is the point I wanted to bring out in the first place, man, because this is scary, right? Hearing these things happen, you know, seeing what's going on within the nation of Israel as of now, right? The Lord is revealing everything. And then this brother's vision coming, right? This brother has a vision of the death angel, right, coming through and destroying a lot of you Israelites. You know, or destroying a lot of Israelites. That's scary, man. You know, and this is why, you know, it goes for myself first and foremost. We should be constantly examining ourselves, man. This is the time of examination, which, again, you know, I make this statement a lot, you know, and it usually only comes out, you know, around the Passover, but really it should be all year, every year, man. That self-examination, you know, should be happening consistently, man. All year, every year. You know, December, January, October, August, it don't matter what time of month, it doesn't matter what day of the year. We should be constantly examining ourselves, man, you know, and fighting, right? Fighting to you know, cast off those old works, right? That old man, right? As it says right here, 2 Corinthians 13:5, examine yourselves, right? And when you go into that word examine, it goes back to, you know, to scrutinize, or to, you know, to look at intently, right? You got to really look into yourself, man. You know, sure, as we read in Job 8:8, right, it says, for I inquire thee, I pray thee, to you know, search out, you know, our forefathers. Roughly paraphrasing, man. You can go and look it up, Job 8:8, right? We're supposed to look, right, at our forefathers, right? And as it says in Romans 15:4, the things that are written time are written for our learning, right? And when you go into Daniel's, right, the 10th chapter around the 12th verse, Daniel chastised himself, man, right? He would chastise himself. Well, see, that right there shows you, right, that he had to examine himself, right? Examine his ways, compare it to the scriptures and what he's supposed to be doing, right? And sit there and say, hey, you know what? I'm not doing what I got to do. And man, I got to chastise myself, however that looked, you know, whether it be, you know, removing some things right away from, you know, out of your way, right? So that way you can focus more on this path, on this ministry. You know, you got to really honestly be in this truth, man. You got to really examine yourself, man. Our forefathers did it all the time, right? We have examples of that. We read examples of that. You know, but if you're not doing that, well, guess what, man? The Lord is you're going to be one of those ones that receives that fucking swift slice, right? Head being cut off, right? Because you don't want to do it, you know, which is scary, man, right? It says, examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except you be reprobates, man, you know? And a lot of these camps, they don't have Yahweh Shai. Right, they're not following Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. And when you go into that word follow, it's basically an action, man. It's an action, right? It's not just, you know, a word, right? It's kind of like, you know, and I put it in, you know, layman's terms, right? It's like follow the leader, right? With kids game, to follow the leader. If I hop on one foot, the people behind me that are following me have to hop on one foot. Well, it's the same thing, right? Yahweh Shai, scriptures say to walk even as he walked, man. Right, so as Yahweh Shai moves, we're supposed to move the same way to the best of our ability, right? Understanding that we're still in the flesh, right? Understanding that we're gonna fall, you know, we're gonna fall short. We're gonna constantly be, you know, trespassing, right? Especially because we're in this sinful flesh. But not letting our sins weigh us down and continue to get back up and continue to do what we need to do, right? That's what it's about. But see, if you're not doing that, if you're not examining yourself and you're just allowing certain things, you know, to go on, right, and you're not checking yourself, well, guess what? You're going to be one of those that receive that destruction, and that's not what we want, right? Especially coming into the Passover, man. You know, because you can't, you being evil, you being wicked, you eat of that Passover, right? You partake of the Passover, well, guess what? The Lord could very well just kill you right then and there. While you take that bite, man, you know, because that's how heavy it is. And we'll go to this, right? 2 Corinthians 11. I think it's 2 Corinthians 7, actually, if I'm not mistaken, or 1 Corinthians 7. Right here, it's like here, 1 Corinthians 11. It says, and this again, this is concerning the Passover, right? Yahweh Shai, the Passover that Yahweh Shai, right, was there, right? That last Passover that Yahweh Shai was at, right? It says 1 Corinthians 11:24 says, when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is of my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me, right? So when we sit down and we eat of the Passover, eating of the lamb, right? The food where we think of Yahweh Shai, man, right? The sacrifice that Yahweh Shai made, you know? It says, after the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me, right? When we drink the yayan, you know, which is the wine, right? We drink it, right? Again, remembering, right, that Yahweh Shai spilt his blood, right? That he ultimately gave up his life for us, you know? It says, verse 26, for as oft as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily, right, you being a nigga, right, you being wicked as hell, right, shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord, right? And guess what? Now you finna receive of that judgment, man. You know, you're finna receive of that judgment. That judgment is going to be death, right? Verse 28, it says, but let a man examine himself, right? Examination, right? You got to be examining yourself, right? And so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. So this is how important the Passover is, man. This is how important this mentality is, right? All year. It's not just the Passover. It's an all year mentality, man. right? All year, every day, all day mentality. You know, and we got to be in that mentality to seriously scrutinize ourselves, examine ourselves, and be in the same mentality that Daniel was in, right? The same spirit that Daniel was in, right? As we read in Daniel 10, you know, around the 11th and 12th verse, right? Him chastening himself. And the Lord said that he was a wise man, right? So really it's wisdom, right? You're applying wisdom when you examine yourself, when you chastise yourself, you know, and remove certain things off of your path, right, or out of your way, so that you can focus more on the Lord. That's using wisdom, man, you know. So let us walk in the wisdom of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the wisdom of the scriptures, right? Let us continue to examine ourselves. Let us keep the faith. Let us keep pushing, you know, and Lord will, keep throwing up them curses, keep throwing up them prayers, most importantly, man. You know, keep the faith, man. So with that, Lord wills, edifying, Lord will, straight to the point, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Rachak Wadash, double honors to the elder apostles, at the bishops of Great Millstone. Till next time, I say Shalom.